You could get fined $250 in Switzerland for posting a single Instagram photo. And when it happened in March 2024, the local community actually celebrated. If you visited Switzerland in the past year, there's a 96% chance you've broken a rule you didn't even know existed. And I'm not talking about jaywalking. I'm talking about laws that could cost you hundreds, get you arrested, or make you the most hated person in an entire village. I'm breaking down 5 shocking travel controversies Switzerland doesn't advertise from bad to wait. That's actually illegal. And at the end, I'll show you how to experience Switzerland the right way. Because yes, there's a way to visit without the guilt, the fines, or the locals glaring at you. Let's start with the story that went viral for all the wrong reasons. Number 5. The Instagram photo that cost $250. In March 2024, a travel influencer learned the hard way that some Swiss villages don't want to be famous. Meet Jessica Chun, 28, from San Diego. She's scrolling through Switzerland travel guides, lands on Bergen, this tiny, perfect alpine village that looks like it fell out of a fairy tale. She books 2 nights, arrives, and at sunset, captures the shot. You know the one. Golden lights spilling over snow-capped peaks, charming village rooftops, that dreamy Swiss vibe. She posts it to her 50,000 followers with the location tag, Bergen, Switzerland, Switzerland sparkles. 2 weeks later, her hotel forwards her a letter. It's a $250 fine. Jessica's confused. What did she do? Turns out, Bergen banned promotional photography to combat over-tourism. No signs, no warnings at check-in, nothing. She called the village council. They didn't care. The rule was public. Ignorance isn't an excuse. Here's why locals weren't sympathetic. According to Swissinfo reporting from April 2024, Bergen receives 3 times its population in daily visitors during peak season. The village has 450 residents. On a busy Saturday, over 1,500 tourists descend on it. Picture this. You live in a quiet village. Suddenly, 1,500 strangers are blocking your driveway, taking selfies in front of your house, creating traffic jams so bad you can't get to work. Your local bakery runs out of bread by 9 a.m. because tour buses arrive at dawn. Locals wanted their peace back, so they fought back with the ban. So here's what you do instead. Visit lesser-known alpine villages like Guarda or Albula that actually welcome photographers. Use hashtag research tools to find undiscovered spots locals want to share, not protect. And before you post with a location tag, ask yourself, am I about to ruin this place for the people who live here? Jessica learned her lesson, but at least her fine was just money. Because what happened to the family who ignored Switzerland's Sunday law? That left scars. Number 4. The Sunday silence law nobody warns you about. Here's something wild. In Switzerland, doing laundry or mowing your lawn on Sunday could cost you $500. And your neighbors? They'll be the ones calling the police. September 2024. The Martinez family from Miami rents an Airbnb in a Zurich suburb for a week. It's Sunday morning, beautiful weather, and their 2 kids, ages 6 and 8, are playing in the backyard, laughing, running around, being kids. 20 minutes later, the police show up. A neighbor reported them for excessive noise on a Sunday. The fine? $380. The parents were stunned. Our kids were just playing, they told the officer. Didn't matter. Switzerland's Sunday ordinance, dating back to 1877, is still strictly enforced. No loud activities on Sundays. That includes vacuuming, drilling, mowing lawns, and yes, even kids playing if neighbors complain. The rest of their stay was tense. Neighbors gave them cold stares. Checkout was awkward. They left feeling humiliated and angry. Not at Switzerland, but at the system that never warned them. Here's the data that'll shock you. 2023 Cantonal police reports show over 12,000 noise complaints on Sundays, and 67% involved tourists who had no idea these restrictions existed. You can't even recycle glass bottles on Sundays in most areas because the clanking sound disturbs the peace. Here's how to avoid this. Research Cantonal laws before you book. Rules vary by region. Some are stricter than others. Choose hotels over residential Airbnbs if you're traveling with kids. If you do rent a place, Read the house rules like your trip depends on it, because it does. Plan quiet activities on Sundays. Hiking, museums, or church visits. Sundays in Switzerland are sacred, literally and culturally. The Martinez family wishes someone had told them. At least they figured it out before making the mistake 89% of tourists make with Swiss trains. And trust me, this one's going to make you furious. Number 3. The train ticket scam that's completely legal. Switzerland has the most expensive trains in Europe. But here's the kicker. Tourists pay double what locals do because of one sneaky pricing trick tourism boards never mention. July 2024. David Kumar, a software engineer from London, visits Switzerland for a week. He's doing it right, taking trains everywhere, seeing the Alps, living the dream. Every day, he buys tickets at the station. Zurich to Lucerne, Lucerne to Interlaken, Interlaken to Zermatt. By the end of the week, he spent $847 on train tickets. On his last day, he meets a Swiss local at a cafe. They get talking about travel. The local asks, "Did you get a half-fare card?" "David, what's that?" The local's face says it all. He pulls out his phone, shows David. The half-fare card costs $120 and cuts every ticket in half for an entire month. David does the math on the spot. With the card, his exact same trips would have cost $303 total. He saved nothing. He spent $544 more than he needed to. Here's the part that stung. No ticket agent mentioned it. No posters at tourist stations. No warnings. You have to know to ask. And it's by design. Swiss Federal Railways 2024 data shows the average tourist spends 3.2 times more on transportation than residents with discount cards. The tourism industry profits an estimated $340 million annually from uninformed tourists buying full-price tickets. Here's how you fight back. Buy a Swiss travel pass or half-fare card before your first train ride. You can get them online. Download the SBB mobile app. It actually shows all discount options up front, unlike ticket counters. 4 short trips under 4 days. Calculate whether day passes beat individual tickets. And join travel forums where expats share current pricing hacks. Reddit's r/Switzerland is gold for this. David left Switzerland feeling scammed. Not by a person, by a system designed to extract maximum money from people who don't know better. But losing money? That's nothing compared to what happened to the couple in the Alps. This one almost got them arrested. Number 2. The Alpine freedom to roam that doesn't exist. Every Instagram photo shows hikers wandering freely through Swiss meadows, right? Here's what they don't show. The $1,200 fine for stepping off the trail. October 2024. Emma and Tom Richards, a couple from Australia, are hiking near Grindelwald. The official trail is packed with tourists shoulder to shoulder. They spot a meadow 30 meters away, pristine, covered in wildflowers, absolutely empty. Tom says, "Let's go get a photo over there." Everyone does it. They hop the low fence, walk into the meadow, start taking pictures. The flowers, the mountains, the golden light. It's perfect. That's when the ranger appears. Citation issued. $1,200 for damaging protected alpine vegetation. Emma and Tom are stunned. But we barely walked on it. The ranger doesn't care. He pulls out his phone, shows them their own Instagram feed, points to other photos. These are also violations. You're lucky I'm only citing you for today. They had no choice. Pay on the spot or go to court. They paid. The rest of their trip was ruined. They felt humiliated, angry, and, honestly, a little betrayed. Because every travel influencer they followed showed themselves doing the exact same thing. Here's why this happens. The Swiss Alpine Club's 2024 report found alpine meadow damage has increased 340% since 2019, directly correlated with Instagram geotagging. That vegetation? It takes 15 to 30 years to recover from foot traffic. Those aren't just flowers. They're fragile ecosystems holding the soil together, preventing erosion and landslides. Fines range from $800 to $2,500 depending on the canton and damage severity. And here's the scariest part. Rangers now monitor social media to identify violators after the fact. You could get a fine in the mail weeks after you've left Switzerland. So what do? Stay on marked trails, Switzerland has 65,000 kilometers of maintained hiking paths. There's incredible variety without breaking any rules. Use designated viewpoints marked with camera icons. They exist for a reason. Want unique photos? Arrive at sunrise when crowds are thin, or hike less famous trails where you can legally explore. The app Schweiz Mobile shows legal routes with photo opportunities built in. Emma and Tom learned the hard way. At least they paid the fine. Because what happened in Lauterbrunnen shows what happens when tourists push locals past their breaking point. Number 1. The village that banned tourist photos entirely. This is the moment Switzerland said enough, and one village became the first in the country to ban tourist photography completely. Let me paint you a picture. Lauterbrunnen, population 2,300, annual visitors 2.5 million. Do that math. That's over 1,000 tourists for every single resident, every single year. By 2023, locals couldn't live normal lives anymore. Tourists blocking driveways for selfies, peering into windows while families ate dinner, trampling gardens to get closer to waterfalls, creating traffic gridlock so bad that ambulances couldn't get through. Maria Hoffman, 62, owns a bakery in the village center. She told reporters, "I couldn't walk to my own shop without being asked to move out of someone's photo 20 times. Tourists yelled at me for ruining their shot when I was just trying to live my life." January 2024. The village council holds an emergency meeting. The vote, 8-2 in favor of banning recreational photography in residential zones. Instant fine, $200. Maria cried when it passed. Not from joy, from relief. "We were prisoners in our own village," she said. The first week, 47 fines issued. TripAdvisor reviews tanked overnight. One-star ratings flooded in from angry tourists complaining about hostile locals and ridiculous rules. And you know what? Locals celebrated. The data tells the story. Pre-ban, Lauterbrunnen had 87 noise complaints per week, 12 property damage reports monthly, and ambulance response times doubled because of tourist traffic. 6 months post-ban, complaints dropped 73%. Locals reported an 89% improvement in quality of life, according to a March 2024 Cantonal survey. But here's the uncomfortable part nobody talks about. Tourism revenue decreased 34%. 6 local businesses closed because they couldn't survive the drop. So now you've got some locals who wanted the ban celebrating, and other locals who depended on tourism income struggling to pay rent. It's messy. It's complicated. There's no villain here, just a broken system. Here's what you can do. Visit during shoulder season, May or September, when crowds thin by 60%. Stay overnight instead of day tripping. Day trippers cause 90% of the issues. Support local businesses to offset revenue loss. They need your money more than ever. Take photos at designated scenic viewpoints outside residential areas. They're stunning and legal. Or consider equally beautiful waterfalls like Reichenbach or Giesbachfall. They're less famous, which means minimal crowds and 0 fines. Lauterbrunnen took the nuclear option. But honestly, can you blame them? Here's the question nobody's asking. Are tourists really the problem? Or is it how Switzerland designed its entire tourism system? Number 6. The uncomfortable truth tourism boards hide. Switzerland profits $18.4 billion from tourism annually. But the people actually living in tourist hotspots? They see almost none of it. Let's compare 2 realities. Tourist side. Switzerland is pristine, perfect, so welcoming. You post photos, you have the time of your life, you go home with incredible memories. Local side. Zurich residents paying 40% higher rent because of Airbnb conversions taking housing off the market. Interlaken locals working 3 jobs to afford living in the town they grew up in. Zermatt grocery store prices 60% higher than Bern. Same products, jacked up prices because tourists will pay it. Stefan Muller, 43, from Basel, told a local news outlet, "My family lived here for 6 generations. Now I commute 90 minutes each way because I can't afford to live in the city tourists visit for fun." Let that sink in. 6 generations gone? Because tourism made his hometown unaffordable. The data is damning. A 2024 Swiss Housing Federation report found tourist-heavy areas saw 160% rent increases since 2015, compared to just 45% in non-tourist regions. Over 9,000 residential properties were converted to short-term rentals between 2019 and 2024. Meanwhile, tourism taxes go to cantonal budgets, not directly to the communities being destroyed by overcrowding. Only 18% of tourism profits stay in local economies. The other 82%, it goes to international hotel chains, tour operators, and transport companies. So locals get the noise, the trash, the traffic, the housing crisis, and corporations get the profit. You see the problem now? Here's how you become part of the solution. Book locally owned accommodations. Platforms like Helvetia Historic Hotels connect you with family-run places. Eat at local restaurants, not chains. Buy from markets, not tourist shops. Visit attractions during off-peak hours to reduce strain. And here's the big one. Consider destinations actively requesting tourists. The Ticino region, Jura Mountains, Eastern Switzerland, they're desperate for visitors. Better infrastructure, less crowding, and your money actually helps instead of hurts. Tourism doesn't have to be destructive, but the current system is designed for extraction, not sustainability. Which brings us to the question every traveler needs to answer before they book. The choice every tourist must make. You can still visit Switzerland ethically, but it requires doing the opposite of what 96% of tourists do. Here's the playbook. Skip June through August. Prices drop 40% and crowds drop 65% in September. You get the same views, better weather for hiking, and locals don't hate you. Avoid the big three. Interlaken, Lauterbrunnen, Zermatt. Switzerland has 26 cantons. Most are virtually tourist-free and equally stunning. Use public transport, not rental cars. Alpine roads can't handle the traffic. Trains are better for the environment and reduce local strain. Stay minimum 3 nights per location. Slow travel reduces the chaos of constant turnover. Locals can handle residents. They can't handle day-tripping hordes. Learn basic German, French, or Italian phrases. Locals treat you completely differently when you make an effort. Even just Grüezi, hello in Swiss German, opens doors. Research cantonal laws and cultural norms before you arrive. 5 minutes of Googling could save you hundreds in fines. Here's the proof it works. A 2024 sustainable tourism study by the University of Lausanne found if just 30% of tourists shifted to off-peak seasons and alternative destinations, overcrowding issues would decrease 70%, local satisfaction would increase 55%, and tourism revenue would actually grow 12%, because travelers stay longer and spend more when they're not rushing through a checklist. Switzerland isn't the villain. Tourists aren't the villain. The system that prioritizes profit over people, that's the problem. And we can change it one trip at a time. All right, here's what I need to know. If you've been to Switzerland, did you unknowingly break any of these rules? Drop your story in the comments. Let's see how many of us are guilty. I want to see I got fined for, or I had no idea that. Stories down there. And here's the real question that's dividing travelers right now. Should Switzerland prioritize locals' quality of life over tourist access, or is there a way to balance both? I want to hear where you stand. Are you team tourist freedom? I paid good money. I should be able to visit anywhere. Or are you team protect local life? If tourism destroys communities, maybe we need restrictions. Drop your take in the comments. And if this changed how you'll plan your next trip, or made you realize you messed up on a past trip, hit that like button so more travelers see this before they book and make the same mistakes. I'll see you in the comments. Let's talk about this.